to talk to you today a little bit. Okay, so hi, my name is Dee Williams, and today I'm here to talk to you about one of the things I love to talk about the most, which is recruiting and staffing, just one of the things. And today we're actually going to hit the whiteboard because I wanted to do a short tutorial on why your candidates are not sometimes making it to the interviewing stage after the submittal, right? I mean, that's really the most, because you've done all this work from the very beginning, right? You've went and learned the job description, learned more about the type of candidates you want to have in play. You've interviewed the candidate, you've screened the candidate. Hey, John. You have done all of these things, to get your candidate ready to get in front of the hiring manager. And then you submit the resume and crickets, right? And so we want to talk today a little bit about why that happens, what scenarios may be in place, and what you can do hey, Ms. White, how you doing? To take this, the process to the next level. Okay, so first, new t-shirts, stuffing produced. Okay, got our new t-shirts. All right, so I want y'all to get your copy, get your t-shirt. It'll be up online very shortly. But I just wanted to wear so y'all can see. Now on Facebook, y'all are a little high today, whereas if my YouTube is a little bit lower in stance of me using my phone, I'm not using my my stands today. But anyway, at any rate, I hope everybody's doing great today. You need that. Okay, good. So now, the failed submittal, and this is of your resume and candidate. Some of the reasons why your candidate is not making it all the way to the interview stage. So let's go over kind of the process a little bit. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? Let's go over the process a little bit. So first of all, you have interviewed and screened your candidate, and you're now at the place where, and I'm sorry, I need to pull the chat open in YouTube as well, just in case anybody is there. I don't want to miss anybody. I seem to always miss people. In the event that, so you submitted your candidate, and you're at the point now, you've interviewed your candidate, you screened your candidate. So I want to kind of I want to stop. I really want to go in so many different directions about the submittal, the failed submittal. It's like my mind is everywhere, and I'm kind of doing this on the fly. But when you are interviewing your candidate, before we even talk about, because this is going to tie into the number one reason why it does not get to the hiring manager. When you're interviewing your candidate, you should be putting notes in the system, sometimes even on the resume, to define, so that you're defining every aspect of what that hiring manager is looking for. Now, where do you get the information that the hiring manager is looking for? You get it from the notes that they've given you. You should have asked them what are the top 3 things that each candidate must have. You get it from the job description, the qualifications of the job description, the preferreds within the job description. You get it from the description itself, and from whatever, you may have even talked to someone who's worked in that position in the past and have a better idea of what they're looking for. But you have to get this overall view, if you can, as much information as you can about a particular job, right? So when you are writing the submittal, that information is being relayed immediately. Now, let me explain something about the typical recruiter. Okay, let me kind of get up here, as y'all know. Okay, so the typical recruiter in an HR department or in a hiring manager, they look at a resume. Okay, they look at a resume, and let me make sure I'm not putting. Okay, they look at a resume and they say, okay, we're looking for 5 years of experience in this, 10 years of experience in that, experience with this, that, experience with that. The resume doesn't always state that information. So that means that they're forced to go through and to try to figure those things out on their own. The main reason why I tell you to take the qualifications of the resume and whatever the top 3 things that they're looking for in a position and turn them into questions, because it's visible for everyone to see how this person relates to the position. Whether it's the recruiter who got the resume and is looking to decide whether or not that resume should go from that recruiter's desk to the hiring manager's desk, whether it's going straight to the hiring manager, whether it's going to the CEO, it doesn't matter. Anybody who looks at it universally will be able to see how this person relates to the job description. Your write-up should represent that specifically. It should represent the bare minimum. And for me and for most hiring managers, the bare minimum is the requirements of the job. It's the requirements of the job. So with that in mind, right, when you want to talk about failed submittals, if your submittal does not represent exactly what the qualifications that are needed for, if it doesn't represent that and they can't see it visibly, you're doing work for no reason. Okay? So with the failed submittal, we want to talk about what you have to, so recognizing or not acknowledging how the candidate qualifies for the position. Okay, so I don't know how this was. Recognizing how the candidate matches the quals of the position. Okay, you've got to acknowledge that. That's the first thing that they want to know. Let's keep it real. The first thing they want to know is this candidate going to be a match? Is this somebody that we want to interview? Let me just tell you, because you submit the candidate, that doesn't mean that they're a fit. They have to be a fit in the mind of the hiring manager. Your job is to sell the hiring manager on the fit that you believe is real. And the only way that you know is real is if the requirements that they have asked for. At a minimum, this is how you know. This is just at a minimum. The requirements that they have asked for, your candidate matches those requirements. And it should be so much more, but at the bare minimum. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Huh? Okay. So I don't know if that makes sense to you. I'm hoping it does. I'm going to try to pull this up just a little bit just to make sure my Facebookers, not boogers, you can see this. Okay. Okay, good. All right. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave a question or a comment because I want to hear from you too. Okay, great. And it's a lot of people on YouTube. All right, good. So that's the first thing. So making sure. So ensure, and we go into this in depth in Staffingpreneurs Academy. There are, I think, 2 or 3 videos on the submittal process. If you're in Staffingpreneurs Splits, there are about 2 or 3 videos about the write-up and how important the write-up is. And let me just tell you that when you're going through all of this, if your write-up is some BS, like you've done everything for no reason whatsoever. I can't preach this enough. And every time I think, that I'm just looking at the submittals that are coming through and I'm like, we got a lot of work to do. Oh, the writing is backwards. I know. That's because, okay, so hold on, Olivia. Let me just see. Okay, so I can't see you now, but I flipped it around, but I can't see you. So if you guys have any questions, you're going to have to put it on YouTube. But can you see the writing now? Let's just do that for a second. Is that good? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to flip it back around because I can't see the questions. And I want to be able to see y'all questions. So if you want to see the writing, just go to YouTube because I'm on there live now. All right. So that's one of the things. So recognizing how the candidate matches the quals of the position. Also, I have to reiterate that I'm submitting on behalf of you guys to the client, right? There has never been a time where in my years of recruiting where we have just submitted somebody's resume in the state that they gave it to us. Like that, I've been told that's just unprofessional. And what I see you guys do is take the same exact resume that the client candidate gives you and then you submit it. And I'm thinking to myself, this has in no way represents the form that you are worth the money that you want to be paid. Because you didn't do anything. What did you do? Like, every step of the way is a sales process. So if that candidate's resume is ugly, then in my opinion, it's your job to make it look more pretty. So, or at least very easily readable, right? And I always tell you guys that the formatting, we're going to talk about the formatting of the resume is crucial. Okay? If I came to you guys and said, hey, listen, I am a trainer, a trainer and coach of the recruitment and staffing industry. And I had boogers hanging out my nose, and you could smell me over the camera. And I was just, you and me right here watching this right now, you'll be like, she lying. This ain't right. Or even if her information is decent, the way she look is just crazy. So it's like you're expecting the hiring manager to say, to get past the visual and to just look straight into the meat. And while they all should do that, most of them are not taking a management class. Most of them are not taking a hiring class. So they're going to look more towards the resumes that are either easy to read or that just have a nicer format. The ones that don't, they're going to push to the side. I tell you guys this all the time. One of the things I used to do when I met with hiring managers was go into their office and look for the stack of resumes. And I would go and pull out the resumes, and I was saying, you're saying you don't have any candidates, but what is wrong with all of these people? And I would pull that pile out over and over and over and over again. I did this for years because I wanted to understand what's wrong with this resume. I don't like the way it looks. What's wrong with this resume? Do you see all of those boxes? What's wrong with this resume? I don't know. I can't tell what this person does. It had nothing. These people could have been fully qualified people. That's right, Olivia. You eat with your eyes. But because the resume was not easily readable, right? Then they immediately dismissed it. I've been working on a recruitmentstore.com. I've been adding new products to a recruitmentstore.com, and I'm nowhere near done. I mean, I'm just adding like one new product per day at this point because I'm over here like developing, right? And I have this plugin called. I have a plugin on the back of my website, and it asks for the content readability. It gives me a score and SEO. And that content readability, it gives me explicit, like the reason why it doesn't read well is because you're speaking in third person. The reason why it doesn't read well is because it tells me. And you've got to have that kind of mindset when you're talking about your submittal. Yes, that means you're going to take a little bit of extra time to format the resume. Who cares? If you're getting paid hourly, $3 to $5 to $10 to $15 to $20 to $30 an hour, and you're not even doing the work. If you're getting paid $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40,000 and you're not even doing the work, you mean to tell me you can't take an extra 15 to 30 minutes to rewrite the resume? You feel what I'm saying? So it's like you really have to start looking at your resume submittal process as a sales venture. You understand? Because the hiring manager, this is the very first time this hiring manager is seeing this candidate. So if you're not putting love into the submittal, if you're not taking time to make sure the submittal looks great, then it's like, what are you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how else to say it. It's like you've got to understand that you, as a recruiter, you are a salesperson. That you're selling, but you're selling candidates, you're selling retention, you're selling staff. But when you're making that submittal, you're selling that candidate. And so if you stop the process, of selling that candidate, then you're hurting you're hurting the whole process, like immediately. You're hurting the process immediately. I thought I saw questions coming in. The professional background and the professional highlights, will it be repeat on the resume as it is on the write-up? I would, yes, because you remember they may see the write-up before they see the actual resume. So yes, and that beginning part, and we go through this in detail on the splits board and in the academy, right? And it's in the manual. I mean, full page, two, 3, 4 pages about what that submittal process should look like. And so you definitely want to make sure that your write-up is just as thorough as the professional highlight section on the resume, right? You want to sell this candidate. If they went to a great school, what school did they go to? What companies have they worked at that you feel like really represents how that experience that you especially if it's their competitor, you should be putting that on there and highlighting that. Hey, this person worked at one of your competitors. That is appealing to most companies, right? So just little things like that. You're selling this candidate. If your candidate has any tests that they needed to have completed, and even if they didn't, but you offer that, include it, especially if the scores are outstanding. If they have letters of recommendation, include it. If they have a great social network, if they have a YouTube channel, include it. You are selling your candidate. This is not where you don't do everything. This is not where you stop. This is not where you bull. You don't bullshit at this point in the process. This is when you go gung-ho. You know what I'm saying? This is where the excitement starts. It's like, how do you get to that next level if you are not really going 100% to the mile? And I find a lot of you are just going to that certain point. You're just going to that point. Once you get the submittal, it's like, okay, I got the submittal. Now, when you gonna hire my candidate? Well, you ain't really did all the work for real, and to be at a point where the hiring manager should even look at your candidate. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, you really haven't done the work. You haven't sold it. So while you're not selling your candidate, staffing agency on the right here is putting in time, work, and love in their candidate. Do you see what I'm saying? And so while you're submitting, you're like, why is everybody else doing great? It's because you're not putting in the real work and the love in your candidate. So, and your candidate submittal. All right. So the best submittal I've seen so far is Lori Jones. That's ultimately the best submittals that I've seen so far. However, with that said, hey, Lori, she's on here. She puts hers in boxes, which are unacceptable. Because you can't put things in boxes, because what if the recruiter is taking it out of the resume to put it into the system? Then that means she's got to work all day to get certain things. What if the hiring manager asks for specific things in his submittal that the recruiter needs to do? That means we've just made her work 10 times harder. She's going to be less likely to want to work with us. She's going to want to work with an agency who's going to make the job easier for her. So you shouldn't be any boxes, no tables. That's just the industry standard. No resume should be in tables or boxes. If they're in tables and boxes and you get it that way, take it out. It's going to take extra time. Take it out. Like, reformat it, give it a clean look that's very easy and readable, so that the hiring manager can clearly see what it is that that candidate does and how they fit. And you got to almost have it to the point where you're almost like literally spelling it out like a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like for dummies, even though they're not dumb. But you almost like, John has 10 years experience in this, doing this. He's an exceptional candidate because his 15 years of experience doing this allowed him to have experience with that. And then whatever those things are, they should be key bits that you've taken out of the job description that you've actually asked your candidate and they've given you information about. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Come on. Tell me more. Come on. Tell me more. I just want to know, hey, life inside UK. Hey, how are you? I love the UK. Okay. Hey, Amanda. Thank you. Welcome. I'm hoping this is helpful. Okay, good. So, I just want you to just make sure you guys keep that in mind. Have you ever submitted a candidate for a higher position within the same company? For a higher position within the same company? Yeah, I don't think the higher or lower, I don't think that level really matters with, yes, of course. The thing is that if it fits, if they fit into that position, and again, a person fits, I always talk about that little 4 box. They've got to fit in 4 different ways, right? So you're talking about they have to be a skill set, so technical. Then you have your functional, which is kind of like always on time, detail oriented, what have you. Then you've got like the cultural fit, like everybody does pizza on Friday, or you doing pizza on Friday, we bring our dogs in. Do you have a dog or something crazy like that? And then also the life-work balance, right? So that's a true fit right there. That's the true fit, right? So when you have someone like that, it doesn't matter if it's a higher or lower level position. If you submitted them to a lower level position and they've declined them and they did not see the value in the higher level position, but you see the value and you know how to articulate that on the resume, on the submittal, then that's when you start to become an A+ recruiter. And that's how I can typically tell in the write-ups who's in the rookie stage and who's not. Because when you're really, really, really moving up the ladder and understanding what a true match is from a submittal perspective, understanding how to articulate how a candidate fits into a particular role will become your niche, and you'll become really good at it. Okay, so he already works there, but at another location. You probably can't even submit him if he already works there at another location. They're probably not going to pay you for that. I wouldn't. I'm not saying it disrespectfully, but why would I pay you to submit me to another position in a location within the same company when I can just do an internal move or a promotion? Maybe they have not seen him or not looking at him. Man, what you can do is reach out to them and say, I don't know if I would say this candidate is on the market, but you can reach out to them and say, that you stumbled across somebody that works internally in that company, look like they may be a good fit, just a heads up, and give them like a freebie. Y'all see my little twist? I had to just interrupt there a little bit because I'm in love with them at this point. Okay. Anyway, so you can do it that way, but like, why would somebody pay you to place somebody they already have within their company? That's not your job. That's not your job. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Okay. And if he's not working there now, he's worked there in the past, and he doesn't work there currently, then you may be able to do it that way, but it shouldn't be like within the past year. And again, you got to be really, really careful on that one, because they may try to out you out strategically because they feel like he's already worked there. So just keep that in mind. Like, keeping it real on that particular instance. Okay. What am I missing? Because I really wanted to talk about those submittals again. I felt like y'all weren't taking the submittals serious enough. So the formatting of the resume is crucial. Recognizing how the candidate matches the qualification of the position. So also, one of the things that I've noticed that my staffingpreneurs, they do very, very, very well is that one of the things is making sure that they have a clear understanding of like where they're interviewing, what their citizenship status is, or their visa status, so just like things like that, when they're available to interview, so that section of the resume submittal, you do an amazing job. But I don't feel like you're really getting into the write-ups, and I don't think you understand how serious it is for you to have an amazing write-up. Like, you have to have like an amazing write-up because you want your client to look at this and say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've been looking for. This person is exactly, and if your resume doesn't reflect that, then you're not doing your job as a recruiter. You don't deserve the money. You don't deserve the placement, the fame placement, right? So we just gotta just keep that in mind as you guys are making your submittal. Anything else? I don't want this to be too long. My phone's gonna go dead. So Facebook, you're gonna have to get on YouTube in a minute if I keep going. But I just wanted to do just kind of like a quick little training, and it was something else I also wanted to say. So in regards to your submittals, please visit staffingpreneursplits.com if you're already a recruiter and you want to work on job orders now. If you are looking to get into the training, brand new into the business, go to staffingpreneursacademy.com, and I'll put the links in the video under YouTube here, because we definitely need more niche staffing agencies in the business. I also really quickly, and I think I might need to do a separate video, and maybe I will, but just as a note, while I have the attention of a lot of my staffingpreneurs here, my lovely staffingpreneurs, I was just talking to another staffingpreneur a minute ago, and two things I want to say. One, pipelining. I have heard a number of you say, I'm pipelining my candidates and I got them on hold, right? Did you see my eyebrows? I'm on camera. Like, don't do that. I've been pipelining my candidates and they're in the waiting. Like, that's not even possible. I'm just going to keep it real with you. In the professional solutions space, just because you pipeline a candidate, that doesn't mean they're on hold. It just means that you've had a conversation with them, you've profiled them, and you know what they're looking for. They're not on hold for anything. There is no guarantee that you're going to place this person. You're building a relationship with people who carry the job title and do the job that the majority of your clients want to do business with. You're creating a name for yourself within that niche space. You are building relationships with people within that niche space. They're not on hold for you to not wait. They should not be waiting on you to find them a job, ever. You are not an executive search firm. Executive search firms do that. You are a staffing agency, which means you're the fastest facility in the recruiting and staffing space. And I'm telling you, y'all got to speed up, because there's people out here creating technology to get rid of you. This is what you don't understand. They're creating technology to get rid of you, each and every one of you. So it means that the niche is how this industry is going to stay alive. Technology cannot hold conversations yet, build relationships yet. It is you and I who do that, right? So when you're niching, pipelining is about you going into the niche of the niche area that you're recruiting in and building relationships. And that should be with the person that you are looking to place. If they have someone in particular that reports to them, you should be getting to know them as well, because they're always going to work for someone within your niche. And it should also be for the person they report to, because they're always going to need that person. And 9 times out of 10, they were in that position. Your number one main objective is to build relationships. Build relationships. Where's my maracas? Build relationships. Okay, I don't know how many times I can say that. Please, when I hear you guys say I'm pipelining, I'm waiting, I need jobs because I had to pipeline this. No. It doesn't work that way, okay? Building a pipeline is a constant process. It's a constant process. Now I'm going to repeat that again. If you are building a pipeline and you are talking about, I'm building a pipeline, I got to hurry up and get jobs, I got to hurry up and give me jobs, you're in the wrong. No, that's not what building a pipeline is about. Building a pipeline is about establishing relationships with people within your niche space. And the more relationships you establish, and remember, if you only call them once, you're not establishing a relationship. All you're doing is bothering them. That's it. Establishing a relationship requires you to have more than one conversation over and over and over and over and over and over and over again about things that matter. the things that add value. You understand? You have a client rotation schedule and you have a candidate rotation schedule. All right. Yesterday, I spent 2.5 hours. I picked up the phone and called almost every male staffingpreneur that I could think of. What's going on in your business? How are you doing? They didn't know I was calling out the clear blue sky. The women are kicking your ass. Why are you not moving? Where are you in your business? How can I help you? Okay? Just because this is how you build relationships. If you guys aren't successful, I don't feel like I'm successful. And I've done this with ease. And so I know that if I can do this with ease, you can do this with ease. The staffing industry teaches college kids all the time how to do this with ease. If they can do this with ease, you can do this with ease. But I want to show you how to do this whereas if you have the advantage. Now, many of you don't really understand and value the true advantage that you have because you don't take the time to research and you don't take the time to get to know your niche. And that's where you're missing out. And it's like, oh, come on. And then a lot of you want immediate gratification. And it just doesn't work that way. I mean, you've got to work to get that boom. You got to work to get that. Okay, hold on. I just started an IT staffing agency and want to learn how to get contracts. I also want to do splits to get started. I always say that, a splits board is an easy way to start getting job orders, but just keep in mind that splits board is typically using some type of VMS or is a type of VMS, which means you're going to get more experience than anything, right? Unless you're somebody like Tayana, she really screens her candidates. She screens them. She really writes great write-ups. She really understands her candidates. Most of the positions she fills are in the healthcare space. That's her niche. She knows her niche. She knows what questions to ask for. Not only does she do step one, which is recognize what the hiring manager wants from the job description and qualification side, but she's also in that space. So she knows that there are specific things as well that they would be looking for. She includes that information. That's why she's kicking tail on the splits board. She's really taking it seriously. And now she's getting to the point where she's graduating. And I'm not saying I'm never going to let her leave the splits, but I definitely encouraging her more with getting her own clients as well. So the splits is definitely a great way to get started, to gain the experience and get some quick wins under your belt while you're working on getting your new clients. Now, this is not a new client training or how to get contracts training. And again, Facebook is going to go away any minute now because my phone is dead. But Amanda on YouTube, and not our Amanda, this is another wonderful, beautiful Amanda. Somebody's texting me here on Facebook. She says that she wants to learn about how to get contracts. And I'm going to tell you the key to this, to getting contracts, the key, which a lot of you are not going to really take the time to do. But I am going to encourage you to do it. Hold on, I'm moving my chair around. I'm going to encourage you to do it because it will liberate you, okay? It's going to liberate you, liberate you. Okay, so you've got to establish a target list. The last thing you want to do is to just decide that you want to start a staffing agency and then you're going to just reach out to any company at all, just anybody. I'll just take that one, just that one, just that one, just any of them, right? And just start reaching out, and that will work, maybe, potentially. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on what companies you're reaching out to and who you're reaching out to. But if you're somebody who's never really been in this industry before or never ran your own staffing agency before, and you want to develop business, you want to have some direction. You want to be able to know, okay, who am I going after specifically every day? And, what do they like? What do they dislike? So Amanda, you got to go back in my videos. I talk about this all the time. You've got to create strategies on how you want to connect with a potential hiring manager. And you've got to do something outside of the phone because the phone is getting played out. I mean, the phone is getting played out. So you've got to do something outside of your phone. I would suggest you figure out, go into Pinterest and find out how to create nice gifts under a $5 budget or under a $10 budget. Create nice gifts and send them to the hiring managers to say hello. You're on my radar. I definitely want to do business with you. Just be on the lookout. And start building that relationship. People do business with people they like. Say it. People do business with people they like. Say it. People do business with people they like. And no. Okay? So think about it. All these companies that are getting contracts with these huge companies, they're not just giving them to them randomly for after making a phone call. Like, they've had some type of interaction, right? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And Amanda, that should be a good starting point for you as far as how you want to develop your own business. You pick some companies you like that you want to do business with. See what type of job orders do they have. Do they have job orders listed in the area that you are niching in? And do they have people that are in that position if they have no jobs in that space? When's the last time they had an open position in that space? How often are they hiring in that space? Like, whenever you're talking about doing business development, there has to be this learning curve of the particular client that you want to do business with. That's why we give you 100 companies. That's an overkill. Right? But it'll give you a strong rotation if you're reaching out to a number of the hiring managers within that company. I always say it's 4 people I want to reach out to: the CFO, the CEO, the direct hiring manager, and the executive assistant. And I want to have a strategy for each and every one of them, because each and every one of them have a different role, and something's important to each and every one of them that's totally different. The executive assistant, her job is to make sure that the CEO or whoever she's supporting is like literally taken care of in every way, form, or fashion. The CFO's role is to make sure that we're not spending too much money and that we're saving money, and that, that our bottom line looks good. The CEO's role is that we're going in the strategic direction of where they want the company to go, and that all the positions are filled to make that goal happen. The direct hiring manager's goal is to get a project completed, or to service something on a consistent basis. So everyone has different goals. And so it's like these staffing agencies are calling all of the same people and giving them the same message when each and every one of them have a different agenda in relation to the business. Does that make sense? So when you start to understand, and I'm saying too much, you got to get into the academy to get more. Just visit www.staffingpreneursacademy.com. But just to understand that, when you start to understand that, you'll see that it's not enough to just list random companies. It's not, you've got to research, you've got to know what their message is, you got to know what their pain points are. You've got to go in ready to heal that burn, or at least make it burn more and then go back in and to heal it. But it kind of works that way. This is a job or a career where you can be as strategic as you like. Like, get it in. What kind of strategies? How many different ways can I reach out to a hiring manager? We need to have a contest or a game, maybe some type of, game show. How many different ways can I reach out to a hiring manager? Because that's when you start to see your business bloom, because you're like in love with it. You're like loving in and on your business, and you're excited about the people you meet, and you're pushing your mission, and your mission should be to match the most exceptional candidates with the most amazing companies in the world. That should be everybody's mission. Under budget or on time, right? Quality, all that good stuff. Was this helpful for you guys today? If this was helpful, if you were enlightened, I didn't even get to do like my motivational thing, because I just have not. The one thing, and I guess I will just for 2 seconds, and if if you've got to go, that's fine. But just a little inspiration for you here. I know that many of you get into, you know that you want to start a business. There is freedom in starting a business, and shifting from that shifting from that mentality of working for someone else and shifting into a mentality of being your own boss is a big deal. And for some people, it comes very naturally. And for some people, it does not, but it's still like this strong want, desire, and need. And what I want to say is that when you start getting into your business and you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like, this isn't working, or you feel like I've done the same thing over and over and over again. I've made 5 submittals and none of the candidates have stuck. One thing I want to say is whatever you're doing in a repetitive mode over and over and over again, you're going to get absolutely great at it, and it will become one of your specialties. So embrace it. Don't complain about it. Don't get upset about it. Embrace it and acknowledge to yourself, it must be a part of my purpose to master this particular piece of the process. So when I have my own, or when the time comes, I'm going to really be able to rock it out, right? The other piece of that is just don't give up. And I want to just say that because a lot of people are just like, oh my God, I've been at this for 3 months. I've been at this for 6 months. I've been at this for a year. And then they look at other people that are like, they're at this for like 3 weeks and they're already making placements, and then you're kind of thinking like something must be wrong with me, or I'm not doing this right, or why is this not happening for me? And my thing is some people need more experience than others, which means it may take you a little bit more time. One of the first staffingpreneurs that I trained, it was actually 4 friends, which boiled down, which ended up being 2 sisters that actually ran the business. This is a true story. And the sisters, they went through my whole training, and they got towards the end, and one of the sisters, she was really like, okay, I got this, D. The other sister's like, yeah, I just want to start the business. I don't really care, whatever. So they went on and started the business. Their first 30 days, they got like 150 job orders. I mean, something like psychotic crazy, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, we got job orders. And so I was like, great. Now, mind you, they were in their industry, but not their specific niche. So I was like, okay, great. So do you have candidates? So they didn't really have candidates. So they had to go reactive and start finding candidates. So I was kind of walking them through the process on how this thing goes. And after a period of time, one of the sisters was kind of like, I'm going to do this my own way. So I was like, okay, great. So 2-3 months in, I'm emailing them, how things going? Y'all made any placements? No, not yet. Now I'm wondering, you got 150 job orders and you haven't made any placements. What's going on? So I waited another couple of, months. It was 6 months it took them to make their first placement. And I was like excited for them, but I'm like, why? And there's like one of them, the one sister that was all over the place, she was like, because I was all over the place, D. She said, I just literally had to go back to the basics of what you taught and what you originally taught me. I went back into that manual. I went straight back to the basics. And the moment I did that, we started making placements. She said, but I was like all out there, just doing my own thing, creating my own stuff, just going out there. And I really should have just stuck with the basics until I got the basics down and then revised at that point. And she said it was a major loss. So I was like, yeah, like 150. She's like, yes. And we lost the majority of them, and then she gave up on the business. She really didn't want to do the work. And then the other sister felt like, well, I'm not going to do the work by myself. I got into this because she asked me to get into this, and then they dissolved their business. Do you see that? Just how quick that happened. Like, so my point is that sometimes you have to do something wrong. Sometimes you've got to do something over and over and over again before you begin to master it and it becomes yours. And so don't be afraid of that. When I started staffing, I started Identifies Consulting at first, and like nobody knew who I was. Even though they knew who D was, they didn't know who my business was. And then I found out I was going to die, so I was like, I'm going to create Staffingpreneurs Academy. So each brand I'm building from scratch, and I'm learning each and every time, and getting better and better and better. So but I'm making mistakes too. and I'm making mistakes with you guys and you're still loving me. So you still have a lot of these customers. That's one of the reasons why I encourage you guys to get into the split sport, get some experience, because believe you me, Amanda is not going to submit a resume that doesn't look good. I've pushed back on a number of resumes that I've received and said, The one thing I did not push back on is people for the formatting 100%. I've only done that once. But I just I just shake my head because I'm like, y'all are not really taking this submittal process seriously, even giving the hiring manager an opportunity to want to view your candidate. So just keep plugging away at it. Does that make sense? I don't know how motivational that was today, but just don't give up. Just keep plugging at it and make it something that you enjoy. Like, don't look at it as a daunting process and that you're failing. Every failure should be a success for you. It should be teaching you something. It should be motivating you to get better, not deteriorating you from actually going ahead with the full process. You understand? Facebook, y'all understand? I love you. Look, my t-shirt, y'all got to get y'all's. It's coming up this week. Mwah. I'm going to hang out with my YouTubers. I love you guys. I hope this was helpful for all my staffingpreneurs on Facebook. And I will see you guys. This week is not Q&A week, but I'll be doing these little tidbit trainings every day. And y'all got to stop me. Y'all got to tell me be quiet, not so much. All right. So share this video. Share this video. I love you. I'm going to talk to everybody on YouTube. Bye. All right, guys, because my phone's going dead. So I'm just going to hang out and talk to you. Thank you, Lydia. And okay, so I see I'm going to be loud here. I hope that I am motivating you because I definitely want to see your success. That's so imperative. And that's why I get on here and in my mind, I'm always thinking, what more can I say? What more can I do? It's not just about bringing new people into Staffingpreneurs Academy, but it is about and growing the people that are within Staffingpreneurs Academy as well, making sure that you guys understand all the things that you can do to make the process easier for you, to make it flow for you, and so that you are making great placements and impacting people's lives in the most positive way. And that's through employment and search. I mean, most people are working. And if they're not working, they're being an entrepreneur. I hope I'm empowering both sides of the fence here. Everybody's not meant to be a staffingpreneur, but it doesn't hurt to try it out and to see if it's for you, because you're ultimately getting stronger. You're learning a new skill. And you are impacting, thank you so much. You're impacting the world. So I'll be on here. Like sometimes I'm up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and I want to go live, but I'm not sure if y'all are night owls like I am. So I said tonight, if I'm up, I'm going to just get on live and see who's on here and just talk about some of the good things that are going on in the recruiting and staffing industry. I am like addicted to articles that can bring information, and so we can share some of those as well. Please, we have another boot camp coming up. It will be the last one of the year. I do not know where it's going to be. I think it's going to be in Atlanta, but we'll have an announcement coming out soon. We'll also have an announcement coming out about our staffingpreneurs trip to Costa Rica next year. Please do me a favor and take a moment to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Go to Facebook, like our Facebook page, leave a comment. Let me know some things you would like to see training on. Let me know some things that you would like to learn more about, that you would like to hear about. What do y'all guys think about my new hairstyle? I've gone natural. Tell me about that as well. Good, bad, ugly. I have my feelings. I got thick skin. What else? Don't forget to like this video. Please like it. Please do not leave my video without liking it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you can put the down sign, but I'm still gonna love you. And then share with your friends, your family, your colleague. You never know who's secretly, this is what I hear all the time. I have secretly wanted to start my own staffing agency, but didn't know how. You'll be very surprised. So if you share it, then people will be inspired. And if it's something that they wanted to do, then they'll definitely get in on the bandwagon as well. Now, we've got a banging bandwagon. So I'll do my best. And I try not to. I mean, I'll answer very light questions, but if you have like a heavy hitter question, you've got to schedule one-on-one time with me, okay? Because I'm getting like flooded with questions on Facebook, but I will go in and look. Kevin, I will go back and look and see what your question is and see if I can help as much as possible. That was kind of like an oxymoron, like, oh, leave me comments, but I just don't have a chance to get to them immediately. So honest. Okay, I love each and every one of y'all. I hope y'all having an absolutely amazing day. And I look forward to hanging out with you guys. Maybe later tonight. I look forward to hanging out with you guys. So have a great day. Bye. Thanks, YouTube. I really appreciate you. Woo. Okay.